This meeting is being recorded.
Should we begin?
Page 69, the use of television.
Yes, ma'am.
Lavanya is back.
The use of
Am I
Lavanya,
audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah,
Shall I
go ahead.
continue?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
She dropped again.
No,
Okay,
I think when she opens the PDF, she's going off. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
The use of television and computers has dramatically increased over the last 10 years and is still increasing. Technology is getting faster, more refined, smaller, and more streamlined. And with increasing devastating impact on the brain and our senses. Damage is being done through radiation, which comes from everything electronic. What are we doing to protect our children and ourselves from injury from long-term use of technology? What was supposed to be providing us modern conveniences so that we would have more time to do other things has done just the opposite. Modern human beings are in a state of hyperdrive and suffer from technology-based addictions. Is this what we want for our children and for ourselves? Children are being traumatized by the media.
Yeah, very important again. It is just not being traumatized. What Steiner also says is the damage done is irreversible after a certain time period, maybe about 8 or 9 years. And it's not just children, we are also addicted. You know, I am on a forum where adults are posting messages of being addicted. They are unable to get out of it. There is so much of guilt, and adults doing it, you know, if they're working, they're unable to perform the work. If they're at home, they're unable to do that either. So somewhere the whole human race is getting crippled. And when he wrote, it was only the television. Now it's not just that anymore. It's much more damaging, much more serious, much more subtle, slow. I mean, it appears slow. It appears like, you know, when I'm addicted to some social media, something, many a times the young parents of young children are happy that children are doing something educational and children are not bothering. And only to realize a few years later that what they have done to the child is irreversible. That's more traumatizing to the parents as well. Yeah, go ahead.
A second grade boy, whose mother insisted that he never watch television, drew a picture of a person, a house, and tree. The person in the picture was a pirate. When asked what kind of person did you draw, the child replied, "This is a pirate." When asked how he knew what a pirate looked like, he said, "I saw it in a movie." "Did you see the movie Hook?" he said. "No, it was a DVD movie of the pirates of the," I said, "the Caribbean." And he said that it was. The images imprinted on this little boy were ones he could not process or make sense of, and had a powerful effect upon his soul. There is not a kindergarten or grades teacher in the world who does not learn on Monday what her students have seen or been exposed to on the weekend because they need to and do talk about it and play it out to try to make sense out of it or get it out of their system. The more sensitive the child is, the more fantasy rich and impressionable, and the deeper these impressions imprint into the child's soul. This activity can affect even their physical health. Children are impressionable and vulnerable. They cannot always tell us what is going on or what leads them to have nightmares or become afraid to go to sleep. The parent must be the guard at the door of the child's senses and soul. We must protect the child from these addictive, deadening forces. Observe children and you will see the effects technology has on them.
Yeah, how can the parent be the guard at the door of the child's senses and soul? That's something all of us need to ponder on. It is not about locking the child up. It is not about not allowing other children to come play or allowing your child to go to somebody's house to play, which is what we see these days, especially again in the cities. Children are instructed by parents not to get into somebody's house again for a good reason, but what impression does it have on the child? Somewhere there we need to make friends with the other family. We need to get together as families. And that's again some kind of a sacrifice that is from our end to go out of our comfort zone, to make friends, to allow them to come, we visit for the sake of children. Yes, we really don't know what's happening to their senses and soul. And it's no use when you find much later. So we must protect the child from addictive, deadening forces. That's coming from external stimulus. TV is one thing, all the social media is another thing, but also dysfunctional families, dysfunctional environment, a fearful environment. And there are many of them, we just scare children of burqa or policeman or somebody's going to take you out. I saw a video the other day. The mother could not make her child clean up. I don't know how she was doing it, but then she called the police. 2 policemen actually walked into the house to threaten the child to clean up the place. And why did the child become so adamant? And what was the parent doing when the first time the child did not put the toy back? So it could be in many different ways. Definitely social media, TV, any of this digital media is of more concern, but we should also look at other situations where we are incapable of managing the children. So observing the children, and we will see effects of technology on them, we will see the effects of other people on them, maybe a bully at school on them, a bully teacher. The impact they have created all lies in the observation. All right.
There is documented scientific evidence suggesting the possibility of brain damage caused by the use of cell phones held to the ear. Hearing loss has been recorded at younger ages from the use of iPods and high-definition sound systems. It has been long known that radiation from computers is not healthy for adults. What is it doing to children? Attention deficits and short-term attention spans caused by the early exposure to television viewing were in the news 20 years ago. Sesame Street has been linked to the development of the children who watch regularly a 7 to 10 second attention span as a direct result of the the visual images being on the screen for 7 to 10 seconds. What it must be today. Not to mention the corporate brainwashing of children, teaching them through potent visual advertising images how to be consumers at an earlier age. Please, if this is progress, let's slow it down.
Yeah, let's slow it down. And it's much faster now. It is not just 7 to 10 second attention span. I think it's 7 to 10 microseconds now. And even we get so impatient when the image doesn't load up or content doesn't load up. And imagine what's happening to children. I mean, even me at 57, I get frustrated if it slows down. And I have been using computers maybe for last. I was in software industry, so maybe from 30 years now, and the social media kind of thing for last 10 years. But we never had TV. We still don't have TV at home. We were never watching TV as much. Despite all of that, we are getting impatient. Despite not having been hooked to any of this, we are getting impatient. And imagine the child right from birth exposed to these radiations and the fast-paced images. Certainly, it's just not hearing. Hearing, yeah, it's bigger problem now. Everybody with headphones, bigger problem now. But the whole brain function is damaged. A part of it is not functioning anymore. So it's really scary when we look at that. So we must slow it down. It's not just about taking the gadgets away, but it's about substituting that with something else, going out in the nature, playing in the water, going for long walks, having family time, having conversation, playing board games. We need to fill that time up. We just can't take it away. It will only lead to restlessness. But doing family things together, cooking, cleaning, chores, having a pet at home, having a kitchen garden at home, all of these are the healthy options to slow this whole thing down. All right. For those who joined late, we are on page 70, the last bit of page 70. All right, Priyanka.
One father told me recently that when his wife first decided it would be in their children's best interest to turn off the television altogether, he felt dubious and unhappy. He enjoyed watching television after a long day at work, but the children became glued to the tube and argumentative when it was turned off. Once the television was shut away, he began to experience an amazing change in his children. They began to play inside and outside. Their creativity and intelligence emerged. He was flabbergasted at the heightened quality of their conversations and their newfound willingness to do chores and be part of the family. Everyone in the household was happier, and parenting these three wonderful children became a joy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Continue.
Feeling safe and secure. Why are our children today experiencing increased anxiety, nervousness, and depression? Our children stand before us as engaging mysteries. They may exhibit restlessness, a strong sense of self and imagination, or be challenged by clumsiness or health issues. Our task as concerned adults is to find ways to understand them and provide for them in our homes and classrooms to remove hindrances to their unfolding. and to form relationships with them. We can improve our understanding of children by considering child development from various perspectives: physical, energy, time qualities, soul, and ego self.
Yeah, this is extremely important, how children develop in their bodies, in their life energy, etheric energies, in their astral body or the soul body, and then the spirit body or the ego, the intelligence part of it. And certainly, children have certain milestones, and they would achieve them provided they're in the right environment. And to providing right environment when the physical development is crucial, when etheric development is crucial, same as astral and ego development. That's what we as parents and teachers must do. And aligning to that is what will happen when we understand how children develop, how children grow, what are their needs in each stage of the development. And I'm assuming many of you know, if not, we can read a text, a different text aligned with it. So you can share in the group about what is it that you like to know, so we can start looking at that. All right, Priyanka.
To help us create healthy environments for growing children, we can explore the relationship between the development of the lower or foundation senses and the various emotional disturbances which can be present as anxiety, fear, and disruptive behavior in the young child, and as depression as the child gets older. The roots of the behavioral problems may lie in early childhood. Once the source of the presenting behavior is identified, the cause can be addressed, remediated, and even healed. Many teachers and therapists in world of remedial education work out of strenuous indications in this area. Two additional valuable resources are Audrey McAllen's work, The Extra Lesson, and working with anxious, nervous, and depressed children. A spiritual perspective to guide parents by Henning Kohler, both of which address the development of these important senses. Mainstream sensory integration occupational therapists have worked with these principles with children of all ages.
Yeah, he rightly mentions the
What
roots
follows
of
below?
Yeah, the roots of behavioral problems may lie in early childhood. It typically lies in early childhood, especially in the present time when we do not allow children to grow comfortably in their body. We are putting children in schools very early on where there is a demand on their intellectual learning when the brain is not prepared to receive it yet. So in Waldorf schools, it's typically the first 7 years are when children learn by play. There's a lot of free play and outdoor play. Most of it is missing in present day children, and all the corrections, the forces that we make them sit in a place when they do an activity, or when they learn phonics at a very early age, or they go through family tension at home, or too many transfers and movements, when they've settled in one place but they have to uproot and move again, or death in the family or whatever. Many of those have a long lasting impact on the child's soul body, which kind of gets settled in their subconscious, which will they do develop coping mechanism. We do say, yeah, children have adapted, okay, no problem. But they have developed some coping mechanisms of either to withdraw or to go all out, like an extrovert, which results in behavioral issues. Both cases result in behavioral issues. However, it won't surface until children hit their preteen, teen years. Until then, they appear to be managing. So most of it is typically in the childhood years. And yes, maybe some big, huge traumatic incidents happen later that could have an impact also. Like one of my friends got into an accident, and then she did not want to drive past that. So something like that. It could happen, but most of the psychosomatic kind of problems have their roots in the childhood. So that's why parenting early years is extremely crucial. Well, parenting till 21 is also very, very crucial, but foundation is 0 to 9 at least. Okay.
What follows below is a summary of the material from these sources that I used in my lectures and workshops for parents and kindergarten teachers. My own observations and experiences with children are included. The 4 foundation senses which promote a healthy sense of security. The sense of life gives us a deep inner sense of one's own body and health, how we feel in our own bodies. A visceral sense, it is directly strengthened or compromised by the other 11 senses. Lack of proper nurturing, warmth, nutrition, physical and soul care, sleep or play or trauma or verbal, mental or physical abuse or neglect all impact this foundation sense, important for all human beings.
He's talking about the 12 senses that Steiner proposes versus what we typically know as 5, and the 4 lower senses, which are typically in the childhood until age 7, are the sense of life, sense of a movement, a balance, and warmth. And this is what I think he's going to talk. The first one is sense of life. And I think he'll cover the 3 more. As the lower senses typically developing in the first stage of child development from birth till age 7. All right.
Disturbed sense of life. The disruptive, unruly, oppositional, or aggressive child. Behavior unruly, nervous, hyperactive, disruptive, sad, whining, cranky. Child avoids stillness or quiet and tends to seek out stimulation, sometimes harmful, or is totally listless with no forces or stamina to do anything. Can be disruptive during quiet story, circle, or nap time, and it has difficulty settling down. Displays poor appetite, difficulty going to sleep at night, restless sleep patterns. Always in motion, restless, does not feel good in own body. May develop tics, eye blinking, foot tapping, facial grimace, or self-stimulation. Not always aware of bodily needs, no sense of warmth or cold, but looks pale. Is very sensitive, easily upset or wounded by others, and is often unaware of consequences of own behavior.
Yeah, I suggest that you all read this over and over. If you are a teacher and if you are in the classroom, just observe, do not label. I mean, when you see a child with poor appetite, don't say that the child may have disturbed sense of life. And that has to be a consistent pattern. If always moving, if always restless, then you can consider a disturbed sense of life. But please do not come to a judgment with first instance of seeing a child doing something or not doing something. So what it requires of us is to thoroughly understand it. I don't think reading once, we will actually get a full picture of it. Good way to begin is to observe this in yourself. Though we are not under 7 anymore, but if something had happened in our childhood and we did not develop this sense of life properly, then we also show these symptoms. So go back and review, read, understand your own life. I mean, is there a restless sleep pattern that you have? Do you have poor appetite? Or are you looking pale? It could be anemia, but then even when your blood count is normal, you still look drained of energy, not interested. So things like that. The last one is very sensitive, easily getting upset or wounded by others. All of us have that fragile ego. We suddenly get upset about what somebody said about me or something that I represent, my family, my culture, my language, or whatever that is. So take it on for yourself first, and then maybe with other adults, other people that you know. Then at the same time, you're observing the children, and then you'll be able to come at some kind of a conclusion that this could be a solution, this could be the problem. And then you can look at how to correct it or fix it. Yeah. All right.
Underlying condition. Bodily fear is the underlying gesture, a fear of awakening to the body and a lack of a sense of well-being, especially impacting sleep patterns. This orientation in the body exists due to constitution or overstimulation by daily life. A feeling of being unwanted or abandoned is the underlying mood in many of these children, all of which is unconscious.
Yeah, that's a critical term, unconscious. Children do not know, and many adults also do not know. And they make children sit and ask them, why did you hit her? Why did you talk like this? Children do not know. So we need to understand the other patterns. This is why in typical Waldorf school, in a typical case study, we take feedback from everybody, parents, grandparents, friends, other teachers, to understand the whole child completely. Is it only in my class, or if you're at home, if your child, is it only with me, or is it like that with everybody? So, and any of these will kind of give you an insight. This is not an exhaustive list, but it will give you an idea as to what's happening. And when he says a sense of well-being is disorientation in the body due to constitution. Constitution is how my body is made up, how my internal organs are aligned, and that's why play is required. So these kind of align, the body grows properly, the ability to hold something, the ability to lift, push, pull something, all those muscles are used, developed, skills are developed when we do lots of outdoor and indoor plays in the first stage of development. Or overstimulation, there's too much happening, leave out the TV and the music and whatnot, the noise, the traffic noise, lot of people talking at the same time, too much of bright light in the house. Um, anything like that, too heavy food, too many variety and not knowing what to pick from. Any of these is overstimulation for the child, giving too many options of which shirt to wear for a party, and we fancy these days, parents say, oh, I give my child an option, he gets to pick what he wants to wear or say or whatever. It's really too much for the child. You can give option between two, similar type, maybe a change in color for a t-shirt, or change in breakfast. If you have dosa dough, it's either dosa or idli, not or big dosa and small dosa, rather than even dosa and idli, because it does take a different kind of preparation. And some people are super proud that they cook 3 times a day, 3 different kinds for the family and for the child, because the child does not eat. Again, that is like overdoing it. Somewhere the child will sense that pressure. So be wary of that. Pay attention to all of these. It is not easy, but it is not impossible. We just need to develop the skill to doing it. So shall we read the other one quickly so we can start with sense of touch from tomorrow or Monday?
Yes, ma'am. Important inner qualities for the parent or teacher. A connection to the child's angel. Helping the child develop a sense of reverence to all things leads to tolerance in later life. Attentiveness to the sense of life through improved nutrition, bland, not spicy, warm food, warmth in body, soul, and spirit, rhythm, routine, visual, bodily care and comfort, contact, clothing, warm bath, helpful sleep life, help child look back over the day, reverence, attentiveness, patience, and active tolerance, practice of the inner discipline of slowness, harmony, basis for future moral life, and a capacity for tolerance.
Yeah, all this we don't teach, we practice. We practice this and children look at us and imitate. And we become worthy of imitation. So this is the inner qualities for the parent or the teacher. When we develop this kind of reverence, respect, a balance, a rhythm, life dramatically changes for us as well as for the children who are in care, who are under our care. So we'll stop here. We overshot the time today.